For the longest time, the biggest, most important business decisions were made on gut feel. It was all about experience, instinct, a certain kind of art. But that era, well, it's coming to an end. Today, we're going to talk about the architectural blueprint for a company that runs on something way more powerful: cold, hard evidence. So let me ask you a question, and be honest with yourself. Think about the last really big, high-stakes decision that was made in your world. Was it a calculated bet, totally backed up by data, or was it, more of a leap of faith? This one question, right here, gets to the absolute heart of what it means to be a modern business.
And this slide just lays it all out, doesn't it? It shows the two worlds we're talking about. On the left, you've got intuition. Look, it can be amazing, but it's also super high risk, and let's be real, the logic behind it is often a total black box. But on the right, you've got evidence. This is all about consistent, reliable results with a process that's transparent and, maybe most importantly, defensible. The journey for basically every company today is moving from that left column to the right one.
I absolutely love this metaphor. It frames data and AI not as just another set of tools, but as the company's strategic nervous system. Think about that. It's what allows the entire business to sense what's happening, process it, and respond intelligently. It's the shift from just guessing to taking informed action. And just like a real nervous system, if it's not working right, things can get catastrophic fast. Okay, so if data is the nervous system, how in the world do you actually build it? Well, guess what? This isn't magic. It's architecture. It's engineering. We're about to walk through a blueprint with 5 key pillars that create the entire structure for a truly data-driven company. And here they are, the big 5. It all starts with the foundation. You got to focus on real, measurable business value. Then you bring in the power tools to get that data into everyone's hands. From there, we actually build the structure, right? We need the blueprints for clarity, a stress test for resilience, and finally, the guardrails to make sure we can trust the whole thing. So let's start where you always should, at the beginning, with the foundation. First things first, the foundation. Before you build anything, you have to know why. You wouldn't just start building a house without a purpose, right? In the world of data, this means you always start with tangible, strategic business value. And here is the absolute core discipline of that foundation. Your data science talent? It's one of the scarcest, most valuable resources you have. You just can't afford to waste it on what we call vanity projects, the stuff that looks cool but doesn't actually move the needle. Every single data initiative has to be filtered through 2 simple questions. What's the potential ROI, and what's the risk? This makes sure your best people are always working on your biggest problems. All right, so with that solid foundation in place, it's time to bring in the power tools. This pillar is all about breaking down the silos. It's about democratizing analytics and making data something that's accessible to everyone in the company, not just the data scientists in the back room. And the key tool to make this happen is the copilot. Just imagine an AI assistant, like a really smart sidekick, that's embedded directly into the software your teams already use every single day. It lets a marketing manager or a supply chain analyst just ask questions in plain English, and boom, they get insights. They can generate reports. They can even test out different ideas on the fly. The impact of this it's just massive. Copilots tear down the walls between the data and the people who actually need to use it. This doesn't just make decisions faster, it starts to build data fluency as a core skill for everybody. Curiosity and evidence become part of the company's DNA. Okay, so we've got our foundation and our power tools. Now we can get to work on building the core structure itself. These next 3 pillars are designed to work together to give you 3 crucial things: clarity, resilience, and maybe most importantly, trust in the data itself. This table just nails the analogies, doesn't it? To get clarity on what's going on, you need architectural blueprints. Those are your KPI trees. To build resilience so your strategy doesn't collapse, you need an engineering stress test. That's scenario modeling. And to ensure trust, you have to have safety guardrails in place, and those are your data SLAs. Let's break down each one. First up, the blueprints. KPI trees. This is how you finally stop guessing what actually works. A KPI tree lets you visually connect a tiny little metric on the front lines, like, say, clicks on your website, all the way up to a huge top-line outcome, like quarterly revenue. For the first time, leaders can see exactly which levers are driving performance and which ones are just making noise. Next, you have to stress test your strategy. Because, let's face it, the real world is unpredictable. Scenario modeling is like a digital wind tunnel for your business plan. It lets you throw everything at it: a market crash, a broken supply chain, a new regulation, and see if it holds up. It's all about finding the breaking points before you commit millions of dollars and thousands of hours. It's how you build real resilience.
And finally, the guardrails. Honestly, this might be the most important part, because all of this other stuff is completely worthless if your data is garbage. Data SLAs, or service level agreements, are a simple promise that the data you're basing your career on is accurate, it's on time, and it's complete. It creates real accountability for data quality. Without this trust, all those powerful AI tools become really dangerous liabilities.
So, you've done the work. You laid the foundation, you've deployed the power tools, and you've built this core structure that has clarity, resilience, and trust. What's the big payoff for all this architectural work?
The payoff is right here. It's an enterprise where decisions aren't just faster, they are fundamentally smarter. They are grounded in actual evidence, not just someone's opinion, and they're safeguarded by a deep commitment to quality. This is what a real competitive advantage looks like in the 21st century. So, that brings us to the final question, and this one is for you. Think about your own organization, your own team. What's the single biggest, most important decision on the horizon that's still being driven mostly by gut feel? And how could applying this 5-pillar architecture totally change not just the outcome of that decision, but the confidence you all have in making it? That's something to think about.